wonder who you think you're playing with. I'm beside myself to keep playing this record back over and over again. Swear that you changed, but I noticed the end. Don't you on scene? Think you know your girl's so funny to me. That's why you didn't got left by one at a time. Got tired of your shit, you almost lost your mind. Long stay, call your name. You'll continue to try to play these games. Leave your family in
1 hour later.
and I don't think you'll ever change your ways. Cause our house is not a home where no one's there. So alone, no one's there. Should I move on since no one's here? You know what you got is good, that's why you refuse to let me walk out to life. You refuse to match up with my vibe.
Good morning. It is 9:41. I've been up since about 5:36 o'clock, but what am I doing right now? I am going through my clothes because if you're a frequent watcher of my channel, y'all know I like to just go through my closet randomly and get rid of stuff, and it was about that time. So the pile back there is stuff I'm getting rid of. This is just like what do you call it, like around the house clothes, I guess, or play clothes, pajamas, I don't know, like stuff I would just wear around the house. It's the bottoms here and the tops here. I had to go through my drawers too because they were just overflowing and I just don't wear half that stuff. I reorganized that, so I'm gonna put the shirts in their own drawer and the shorts and pants, leggings and stuff like that in their own drawer as well.
Keep wasting my time, you keep wasting my time. Don't you on scene? Think you know your girl's so funny to me. That's why you didn't got left by one at a time. Got tired of your shit, you almost lost your mind. Long stay, call your name. You'll continue to try to play these games. Leave your family in the cold.
1 eternity later.
Hey y'all, it has been quite a few hours since y'all seen the last clip, but we're gonna get into the purpose of the vlog. I quit my job, and this may sound dramatic, but my last day, I felt so relieved. Like, I literally felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like, again, maybe dramatic, but it's the truth. And I did not necessarily have a plan B set, like I was for sure going to start a new job before I quit. It was that bad. I'm the type of person, if I'm gonna get a new job, either I'm gonna have the two overlap or I'm going to know for sure I'm gonna start this day, so I need to end target this day. You know what I'm saying? Have a plan. I ain't have no plan. I just had to get out of there. It was so bad. Oh my god, I really don't want this part to be so long, but let me tell y'all the story. So if y'all shop at Target, don't know if you're a frequent shopper, but you know there's an option when you shop to do online, and you have the option to drive your car up to the store and the employees bring your groceries to your car. So I'm doing that 85% of the time at Target. So it's just a normal day, hot as hell outside. This lady comes in and she wants to do like a drive-up return, which you can do that now. Very recently, they started letting people like return little small items. Like, you can't return a whole TV, dresser set and all that, but you could do like little clothes, makeup or whatever, like small items. So she had a shirt she wanted to return. So I had noticed that I had to go back inside and scan a certain printer on my little device or whatever. So I told her that. I was like, I'll be right back. She's like, okay. So everything was fine right there. Right? So I left, came back less than 1 minute. And so I asked, was there something wrong with the item? We have to ask that. Even if you do a return inside the store, we have to ask that for every single item. And it's not accusing nobody of nothing. We're just asking to know if we're going to resell it or not. I asked her, was there anything wrong with the item? I was fine. And she was like, I just put on here on the thing that it don't fit, right? So she got an attitude for that for no reason at all. I'm good right now. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have access to that information because we don't. We can't see the reason that you put on the thing, even though they asked you. We cannot see that. So I'm like, okay, I didn't have access to the information, but you can hand me the item and you have a good day. That's exactly how it went. So I turned around and I heard under her breath, she called me a Y'all, I swear I was gonna turn around and be like, you know what I'm saying, go back in the store and complain, but no. So I said, what the f you just say to me? She was like, I called you a and I told her, if you ever say that to me again, I will never bring another driver up out to this dirty car ever again. So she was like, oh, that's fine, I would just go inside. So I said, I suggest you do that then, right? This lady gets out the car. So at this point, I'm defending myself because people ain't even supposed to get out the car when they're doing drivers at all. So I'm thinking, you feel me, she want to fight. I take off all my stuff, I'm ready, and I ask her, please do something. I want you to do something, please. You feel me? Like, I'm not even worried about work at this point. I am defending myself at this point, so do something, please. So she gonna say something, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself, and customer service workers shouldn't work all that. You, and if you ain't gonna do shit, get back in the car. So she gets back in the car, whatever. I turn around, y'all. I get in the store and I was so angry. I was infuriated. So there was like tears coming out my eyes because I was so mad. Like, who do this whole thing she is? I ended up going home early that day. I had like 4 hours left in my shift, but I told the managers, I'm like, yeah, I'm gone, because everyone who I deal with from this point forward is gonna get really, really, really bad attitude from me, and they don't deserve that. So I was like, you know what, it's best for me, I'm gonna just go home. I just do not like how Target decided to handle that situation. Okay, so it's like, at what point are employees prioritized? Like, at what point do y'all protect us? I had told them at this point I was considering putting in my 2-week notice, because that just took me over the edge. I deal with irritating, rude customers every day, but that is just like, no. But I didn't decide, I was considering it. A couple days later, I'm like, okay, so is this lady gonna be able to do drive-ups again? Drive-ups is a privilege. Okay, it is a privilege for employees to come out to your car and bring your groceries out while you chilling in the car. Like, that is a privilege, and you gonna talk to an employee like that and still be able to take advantage of that privilege? That's not fair. So I told them that, and they basically told me, well, we can't stop her from doing drive-ups or whatever, which they can, they just don't want to, because she's a regular and she spends money in there. If we're held to a certain standard to act a certain way and behave a certain way as employees, so should customers. So you telling me customers should just be able to come into the store, say and do whatever they feel, and be welcomed back with open arms? Like, that's bullshit. So we went back and forth about that or whatever. So, and I told them I was considering my 2-week notice, and they were like, well, why don't you just take a week off, blow off some steam? What is a week off gonna do for me? And then you want me to take a week off and not pay me? No, that ain't gonna do nothing, and it ain't gonna change nothing. So I declined that. Then they were like, well, why don't you just switch departments? Don't want to do that. The only reason that will make me stay is if y'all stop this lady from doing drive-ups. That is it. So a couple days later, they pulled me in the office. The customer that I got into it with and called the store and said she feared for her life. And that is so hilarious. You were the aggressor, but you fear for your life. So I'm like, okay, so what happened after she called and lied? The manager basically told me she don't know what to believe, because they checked the cameras, but there's no audio on the cameras, which everyone knows that. She knew that before they even checked the cameras. And she don't know what was being said. She don't know if I provoked the lady. And y'all, I told her straight up, I ain't had no attitude, I ain't do nothing crazy. I just was like, I've been working here 2 years, and you got the nerve to sit here in my face to tell me you don't know whether to believe what I told you was truth or not? Really? She was like, well, you know her name and you know her face, so if she does a drive up, just have someone else take it out. Yo, the way drivers work at that store specifically, say it gets really, really busy and I'm doing drivers by myself and I call for backup, y'all, 90% of the time they don't come for backup. So you telling me if y'all can't even back me up on a regular day, the lady come in and I say someone got to take this out and nobody comes, then what? So I said, okay, if that's the way y'all gonna handle it, then consider this my 2-week notice. I'm putting it in right now today. And she was like, you know, don't you want to take a couple days to think about it? No, ma'am, I don't. I cannot work for a company that does not prioritize my safety as an employee. So no. So I worked 2 more weeks, obviously, and my last day was, I think, last Thursday. And I did technically have another job lined up. I went on a whim and decided I was going to be a substitute teacher. I had that set up. I was hired in 2 districts to be a substitute teacher. So that's across like 20 schools. So I'm assuming I was going to be pretty busy, you know, working a couple times a week, but I was real nervous about the possible like inconsistency of a job, of me being on call. I didn't feel good about my plan B at that time, but it was that bad. That situation rubbed me the wrong way and took me that over the edge. I did not care about my uncertainty about the second job. how in the world did I get to the substitute teaching job, right? That is another story, right? So a long time ago, I want to say more than probably 6 months ago, I was complaining to my mom about Target. At that point, I was still like, I'm just ready to leave. Like, I have to do something else. I cannot keep working here. So she just said on a whim, was like, have you ever considered being a teacher? I'm like, no. And mind y'all, I have a bachelor's degree in communication, and the concentration is in digital and social media marketing. So with that, I could be a communication director, or I could do like social media marketing for companies, digital marketing. But I didn't even start applying for those jobs until like mid to late last year, and that was 2022, and I had graduated in 2020. 2 years later, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, find an entry-level job in my degree field, and it just was not working. It's either like I didn't have enough experience, which I didn't, because I don't have any experience professionally in that field, or the job that I could get, the entry level, wasn't paying anything more than I made at Target, or they want somebody to work for free, like intern. I'm sorry, I do want to get my foot in the door, but I have pride as well, and I got bills to pay, so I'm not working for free. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. So I found myself completely stuck. Like, I have a degree with not enough experience, but I have a life that I cannot sacrifice not paying my bills, so I can't intern. That went on for like a year and a half. I was applying between 50 and 70 jobs a week, y'all. I don't know how we stumbled upon it, but me and my mom were just looking at stuff, and they were hiring for a substitute teacher at a junior college. So she read me the description or whatever, and they were paying very well, and they said the only qualification was that you had to have a bachelor's degree and a substitute license. So I'm like, oh my God, I have a bachelor's degree, no experience. All I need is a license. So that is when we started looking it up, taking the steps to get the sub license. That was super easy. All you have to do is get your transcripts from your school, and they look at your transcripts and just make sure you're not an idiot, basically. Pay a fee, and then they give you a license, and then you can register to be a substitute teacher in any school district in the state. Y'all, substitute teaching, they pay anywhere between $90 and $330 a day, depending on the district. But like I said, I was in fear of the inconsistency. I wanted something like permanent, okay? So what they also do is you can be a permanent sub, meaning you will be that dedicated substitute for that school all year. So if a teacher calls out or needs some assistance or whatever, that's where you come in. And that's Monday through Friday, getting paid daily as well. I got a call from a high school, like 20-25 minutes from me, and they wanted to interview me. I went in, and that had to have been one of the best interviews I ever had in my life. Like, it just went so smooth. The interview guy was super cool. He was enthusiastic about his job and finding really, really good people to fill those jobs. And he really liked me. He listened to me. He understood where I was coming from about, like, you know what I'm saying, redirected myself, my career path. It was a really good job interview, and he hired me on the spot. And he was like, if you're good, I'm good, so we can start this onboarding process. I said, sure, sir. Like, period. So I start that job August 14th, and I'm going to be a dedicated building substitute for a high school in the area. I am so excited, y'all. I can finally leave the retail world behind me. And this is just to say, like, for people that have graduated college and are struggling to get into their field, first of all, try substitute teaching. Second of all, do not be afraid to reroute yourself. You know what I'm saying? I had no intention of teaching at all. Like, I don't have a degree in education either, but I'm the type of person, if something is not working, I'm gonna come up with a plan B. I'm gonna reroute. You know what I'm saying? Because I was not going to be at Target for the rest of my life. I actually told myself before I even thought of my plan B, September would have been my 2-year mark. I told myself and everybody around me, I will not make that 2-year mark. I say all that to say that this series I created, the Goal Digger Diaries, is going to be my journey of my reroute after college. Post-grad depression is a thing. Struggling to find a job after you graduate. Struggling whether or not you got your degree in a field that you're passionate about. And people that are afraid, step out their comfort zone. I'm just gonna take y'all along the journey of me doing that. So this is season 1, episode 1. I'm nervous, I'm excited. I've always had a knack for teaching. I literally taught my nephew how to read, taught him how to count money, I taught him how to count, period. So it's like, I know I'm capable of teaching, but the only difference is, with my nephew, I can pop him, I can cuss at him, and I can't do that to the other kids. So my end goal is, I want to teach college level people. I want to teach adults. Substitute teaching is just going to get me experience in the classroom, light teaching, school experience. Also another part of my research, right? You can teach college if you have a master's, right? So I'm going to go back to school as well to get my master's degree in education. And that is another part. Don't be afraid to go back to school. I have been out of school now for 3 years, and I'm nervous about that as well. I was under the impression that you could only teach college if you had a doctorate. That is not accurate, okay? College professors have doctorate degrees and they can be tenured or whatever, but you can also be a college instructor and have a master's. People are really like snooty with that terminology. Like, professors have the doctorates, instructors have the masters. So I don't want y'all to be calling me, you know, saying Professor Wiley, because I won't be a professor. I will be a college instructor. So from right now until I get my master's degree, y'all will come along my journey with me for the Goal Digger Diaries as we achieve our goal for getting my master's degree. Mind y'all, it's not gold, G-O-L-D, okay? Goal, G-O-A-L, digger. So y'all saw me in clips earlier. I was doing paperwork for my new job. I'm gonna get fingerprinted tomorrow. Oh, I need to get a badge for that school district, and I have my name and substitute teacher on it, period. I'm going to an outdoor mall to help my boyfriend's mom sell her stuff. I think that is probably what I'm going to do today. Really, that's it. Finish my paperwork. So I do have a little bit more. Y'all come with me for the rest of the day, but I didn't talk too much now, so bye.
2,000 years later.